Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're here with another Stitch Saturday and we're going to be creating the shell stitch. So in this one that I've just done a sample piece, I've done two colours, but for this video I'm just going to do one colour to show you how to create it, and you can create any variation that you would like of this stitch. So let's get on to the video. So to begin, as most times, we're going to make a slip knot, just like so, and you can do this in any way that you would like. And then I'm just going to insert my crochet hook and we're ready to begin. So for our foundation chain, we're going to chain multiples of 6 and then a +2 at the end for our turning chain. So yarn over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just do this until you have the desired length of your project. I'm going to chain 5 lots of 6 and then plus of 2. So here is my 5 lots of 6, and then just for my turning chains I'm going to chain 2. So working back along our foundation chain, to begin we're going to do a double crochet, so that's single in US terms but double in UK. We're going to insert our hook into the second chain from our hook, so not this first one but the second one right here. So insert, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over, pull through 2, and there you will have worked a double crochet. Now we're going to create our first shell. So to do this we need to skip the next 2 chains, so 1, 2, and we're going to work into this third chain right here. And into this third chain we're going to create 5 treble crochets. So yarn over, insert your hook into this third chain, yarn over again and create a double. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, and finally 5. So now we've created our first shell, we're moving on to our next shell. So if you are struggling with these stitches of the double crochets and the treble, just go ahead and check out my previous videos on my channel, and I go through it really slowly there. Perfect for beginners. So then for our second shell, before we do that we need to do our double crochet. So skip the next 2 chains and work a double crochet into that third, so that's single in US, and then we're just going to repeat this along the whole row. So I'm going to do a few more for you slowly, and then you can pause the video and work your way. So skip the next 2 chains and we're going to work 5 double crochets into that third chain, so 1, that's 2, that's 3, four, and our final one, which is the 5th. So now, as you can see, we have made 2 shells, and this stitch is a really nice stitch, perfect for the springtime, which we're coming into at the moment, which I'm really excited about. So get ready to see some more springy projects. Okay, continuing on this row, so skip the next 2 chains and work a double crochet into that third chain. Skip the next 2 chains and work 5 treble crochets into that chain. Okay, now pause the video and work your way along this row, doing skip 2 chains and a double, and skip 2 chains and 5 trebles to create your shell. So here I've just created my final shell, and you should have 3 chains left. So we're just going to skip the next 2 chains and work one final double into that last chain. And now you've completed row 1 of your shell stitch. So this is a 2-row pattern repeat. So on my example I have changed colour here to a different colour, but for today and in this video, just for ease, I'm going to continue with this peachy pinky colour, just so that I can show you the stitch. So if you haven't changed colour, you're with me, chain 1 and turn your work. And now you're looking at the wrong side of your work. Now for row 2, we're going to be starting by doing a half shell into the double crochet that you worked of the previous round. So to do a half shell, we are going to work 3 trebles into that double crochet from the previous row. So work 1, work 2, and work a third and final one. And now you've completed your half shell for row 2. Now we're going to skip 2 stitches and we're going to work into the top of the shell. So in the third treble crochet from the previous row, we're going to work 1 double crochet, and that's the dip of our shell pattern. Then we're going to skip another 2 stitches, and if you kind of pull it apart, you should skip 2 stitches and then you should have another double crochet from the previous row, and that's what you're going to work into, and you're going to create your shell. So into that double crochet from the previous row, you're going to work 5 trebles just to create our shell. So that's 3, that's 4, and that is 5. Okay, and then we're going to skip another 2 stitches and work into the top one, so the third treble. So if you look here, here is my shell. I'm going to skip number 1, number 2, and work into the third one, and I'm just going to work a double crochet. And then into the double crochet from the previous row, so skip the next 2, 1, 2, and you should have a smaller stitch, your double crochet, and into that you're going to work your shell. So 5 trebles into that stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so I'm going to leave you here, pause the video, and work this all the way along for row 2. Remember to skip 2 stitches and work a double, then skip 2 stitches and into the double from the previous row, work your shell, which is 5 treble crochets. So pause the video, work this all the way along. Okay, so I'm almost at the end of row 2, and this bit may be a little bit confusing, but don't worry. So just skip the next 2 stitches just like normal, and you should end with having a double crochet here. And into that we're just going to work, just like the beginning, a half shell. So that's 3 trebles into that double crochet. 1, 2, and 3, and you've worked your second row. Now, as I said, this is a 2 pattern repeat, so if you are changing colour every row, this is your chance to change colour now. As I said, I'm just continuing with this peachy pink colour. So you do need to be careful a little bit in this of your tension, but don't worry if you do have some curly stitches. It will start to flatten out, just like this one will start to flatten out as you continue working. So for our third row, we're going to chain 1 and turn. And to begin this row is a little bit different. So we've just worked a half shell. So to begin row 3, we're just going to work a double crochet into this very first stitch. So if we did continue this into a full shell, then this would be the top of the shell, and this would be what we worked into. But because we only worked a half shell, we're just going to work into that exactly the same. Then you're going to skip your next 2 stitches and find that little double crochet of the previous round and work your 5 trebles into that, just like we have done in the previous rounds. Four and 5. Then we're going to skip 2 stitches, and into the top of our shell we're going to work a double crochet, and then we're going to skip 2 and find our little double crochet and work our shell. Four and 5. So pause the video and work this all the way along the row. So just to recap, in case you are struggling, you can go back and rewind my video if you haven't got this yet, but don't worry. So you work your shell, which is 5 treble crochets, then you're going to skip 2 stitches and work a double into the top. Then you're going to skip 2 and work your shell, which is 5 trebles, into the double crochet, and you're going to do this all the way along the row, and you should get these bumps and ridges, which we call the shell stitch. So work this all the way along your row. You should have the 2-row pattern repeat now, so I'm just going to do a few more rows to show you how it looks. As I've said, you can change colour, make it as unique and colourful as you like, but just remember that you need to watch out for your tension, but don't worry because it will flatten out as you go along. So I thought I'd just quickly jump back on here to show you how to complete the end of row 3. So you should have what looks like a half shell left, and you're just going to work a double crochet into that third and final treble from the last row. So this is how it should be looking. Here is how it looks after a few more rows. Obviously yours will look different depending on how many chains you did at the beginning and how many rows you've done, and also the colours that you've used. So I hope you've enjoyed this today. This stitch is a beautiful stitch for some spring clothing or some baby blankets or just a blanket for you. So I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I'm active on there during the week and at the weekend, so it's nice to see some of the projects that I work on outside and away from the videos. So I'm at hooks.andneedles1, and there's always the name down in the description and also at the end of the video. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for future Stitch Saturdays and crochet and knitting projects, and don't forget to comment those ideas down below of what you'd like to see in the future. Thank you all, and I'll see you next week. Bye.